Most dads think losing weight means sacrificing all of the time with their family, super restrictive diets, and the only way to do it is hours of endless cardio and 5 to 6 sessions a week in the gym like your favorite 20-year-old influencer told you to do. And that's exactly what kept me trapped with the weight I was at for years whilst I was juggling, looking after my 2 boys. I was 100 kg, burnt out, stressed, and always wondering why I couldn't achieve the results I wanted. I just never seemed to be able to shift the weight. Maybe the scales would go down a little bit, I'd feel good, I'd get on that high, and then slowly but surely the weight would creep back up. And I always used to think, what am I doing wrong? So in this video, what I want to outline is the 3 things that I just focused on consistently to go from about 100 kg all the way down to about 84 kg, which is basically where I'm at now. It hovers between 83 to 85. And the good thing with this is it could not be simpler. So with that being said, let's jump right in. Now, the first thing I really focused on, and this is going to sound super weird, but I actually lowered my expectations and set realistic standards for what I thought was possible in terms of how often I could actually get to the gym, right? Like so many weeks, like I said, I'd say, right, I'm going to do push-pull legs, upper, lower, and I'd end up doing push-pull or push legs, right? To try and just hit my whole body. And what would happen is those other 3 days where I felt like I should have hit the program, I should have gone to the gym, I just used to feel really guilty and feel like a failure in my own head, and that I was letting myself down, I was letting the program down. And look, this might just be a me thing, but being a dad with 2 kids, a corporate career, a partner, and everything else life throws at you, what I found worked best for me was just 3 simple full body workouts a week. I'm in and out in 50, 55 minutes. I'm doing 6, maybe 7 compound lifts every single session, maybe a few isolations as well, try and work the guns. That's what guys love. So I'll always try and get maybe some kind of bicep, tricep at the end. But other than that, I'm doing 3 days a week, 6, 7 compound lifts every single session, trying to hit total body. And that's enough for me to hit my goals whilst focusing on some other things. So maybe if you're listening to this and you're wondering, as a dad, how do I actually lose that weight or make the progress I want in the gym? How do I not feel guilty when I don't go? Well, just look at the minimum effective dose. I know that sounds super weird, but what is the minimum effective dose that I can go to the gym to make good progress, achieve my goals without having to sink hours and hours a week into the gym? And for me, that was 3.5 hours across 3 sessions, which I love. Then moving on to the second thing that really helped me out, and that was more around flexible food rules. For so long, I tried intermittent fasting, which isn't too bad actually, but I tried keto, I tried going on the super restrictive. I went on Amazon, I ordered 5, 6, 7 Tupperwares, and I would try and meal prep, and honestly, they would just end up going moldy in the fridge or the freezer, and my missus would kick off. So that just never seemed to work right until I stumbled across what I learned was the 80-20 rule. So we all know about calorie targets. If you don't, comment and I can help you out to find out your specific calorie target. But what I would do is I would take kind of 75 to 80% of my daily calorie allowance, and I would actually just make sure that 75, 80% I would eat as whole, clean foods, prioritize protein sources. So that would normally work out at like 1850 calories a day would be that percentage for me anyway. So that's like, I'm sticking to that. I'm being good within that parameter. Now the other 20% or 25%, then depending on how you split it, can be whatever the hell you want. It can be the biscuits or the chocolate fingers with the kids. It could be the pizza slice when your kids are having pizza. It could be a beer. It could be sweets. It could be whatever the hell you want. That's the point, right? Because what I found, and maybe this is just a weakness in me, but anytime I would super restrict my diet, I just fell off the wagon very quick. And the only way, weirdly, for me to maintain a diet, diet in quote, and actually achieve my results was learn to still eat the foods I wanted whilst pushing towards my goals. And yes, that meant 80% of the time I'm sacrificing the foods I love, but the reward for that is 20% of the time I'm getting to eat the foods I enjoy. So when you're getting that dopamine hit every day, the sugar rush every day, and you've got that 20%, it really helps keep you on the straight and narrow and ensures you stick to your diet way longer than just like those Tupperwares going moldy in your fridge, right? And lastly, the big thing for me was this constant routine I was in of starting over. And I don't know if any of you relate to this, but what would happen is I'd get on a bit of a hot streak. Maybe I'm going to the gym a few times. I'm being okay with food. Then an event would happen in life, you know, maybe a corporate event I had to go to, a kid's birthday party. And what would happen is I'd overindulge. And then I would for some reason, I would self-destruct from that. And I would say, well, because today's been a bad day, I'm going to have a bowl of cereal. And then because it's been a bad day and I've had a bowl of cereal, nobody just wants one bowl of cereal. So I'm going to have 2 bowls of cereal. So then I would just demolish like half a box of Frosties, right? And that was my guilty pleasure. But that's because I didn't give myself the permission to go off the rails a little bit and realize that's human. But what I need to do is realign myself, get back in track of my goals, realize my why. Why am I actually doing this? Think about my partner and my kids, and then get back on track, rather than just hitting self-destruct and thinking, you know what, I'll just start again at another point. I can't do it now anyway because I'm traveling, I've got this going on, I've got that. Always excusing myself. If I ever did go off the rails, I'd realize one bad meal, one cheat meal, or even a bad day doesn't ruin weeks of progress, right? But it does if you allow it. So for me, it was just more of a mindset thing of, you know, every single day I'd write in my notes app, and I highly recommend you do this, like my why. I really want to lose weight to become a better role model for my kids. You know, I've got 2 sons and I want my partner to be more attracted to me. I want more confidence. And every day I'd write that in my notes app. So when I'd look, I still would go off the rails sometimes and smash a box of Frosties. When I went on my phone, I knew it was there, and I'd look at it and I'd realign myself and I'd say, okay, I've got to make some sacrifices coming up. I can get back on track here rather than self-destruct. And look, losing weight as a dad is not this fast 12-week shred of a quick gimmick you see online. It's about sustainability and teaching your kids that you have to push for these things over the long term. Not, oh, I went on a 12-week shred plan and I got shredded and then I put it back on, or it didn't work, or I fell off the wagon. I want my kids to know that I'm operating now in months and years with my goals, and health and fitness really is a lifelong commitment. But if you're struggling to get that off the ground, you're struggling to go, you're not sure what to do, how to do it, and ultimately you need someone to keep you accountable, to keep you on the straight and narrow, to help you make that progress initially and set you up for the rest of your life. What I'd love to do is invite you onto a free call with myself. We can map out where you're at, what you're struggling with and why, and I can help you from there. The link for that would be the first link in the description. But either way, I wish you all the best on your weight loss journey.